I'm kind of subbing for Kurt Collins here. This is Kurt's program, but I want to introduce Chris Yoder. She's the Executive Director of the Defiance Area Foundation. She's been in this position for 12 years. Prior to joining the foundation, she was a 20-year veteran of Reliance Financial Services, State Bank Wealth Management. So please welcome Chris Yoder.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here today to talk about the Defiance Area Foundation. I do have a PowerPoint presentation that I'll work from, and then you also have some handouts on your table. So this year we're celebrating 40 years of giving back to Defiance County. So we were founded in 1979 by Gene Smart, and actually at the State Bank I had the opportunity to know Gene. He retired the year that I started at the bank, so I was honored to have that opportunity to get to know him a little bit before he retired. But he gathered some community leaders in Defiance together, and together that endowment started at $22,000, and those are the gentlemen that helped start the Defiance Area Foundation. And I'm sure some of those, some of you may know some of those gentlemen listed on that list up there. So, our history of giving since 1979, when we started at 22,000. Today, we're over 10 million in assets. As of last weekend, or last Friday, we were at 10.3 million. Our funds are managed by First Federal Bank, the State Bank Wealth Management, and Collins and Guilford. And we hired Collins and Guilford a couple years ago because we wanted to have more of a presence in the Hicksville community, not just in Defiance. So Collins and Guilford have a significant amount of funds that they're managing for us as well. We've granted more than $4.5 million since our inception to Defiance County nonprofit agencies. Last year we granted $573,000 to 71 organizations. In front of you, you have a copy of the Hicksville Community Fund, and I wanted to talk specifically a little bit about your fund here in Hicksville and some of the information and opportunities related to that fund. The Hicksville Fund was founded in 2011 by Jim and Karen Schmidt. It was established to make grants to projects and programs for the betterment of the Hicksville community. There's an advisory committee that meets and discusses how we grow the fund, who we're going to make grants to. Currently, the people on that committee are Jim and Karen Schmidt, Denny and Cheryl Vetter, Greg and Lisa Slattery, and Kurt Collins. So we have been meeting once a month just to talk about how we can grow the fund and projects in the community that we might want to work on. So that's work in progress. So the goal is to grow the funds today to benefit future generations. We funded several grants from the Hicksville Community Fund, and I'll talk about those in a few minutes. And the asset value at the end of the year, last year, was $81,000. So it's our goal to at least get the fund up to $100,000 by the end of this year, and then try to begin working on some projects and programs in the community. Some of the projects that the Hicksville Community Fund has funded: Huber Opera House, Veterans Memorial Park, and then also the Christmas Cruise Through. Those are 3 projects that the fund has supported. And then this is a listing of grants from the Defiance Area Foundation in addition to what the Hicksville Community Fund has supported. Christmas Cruise Through, we supported the Defiance County Fair Foundation Grandstand project several years ago. Numerous times, numerous years, we've supported Huber Opera House, Hicksville Athletic Boosters, Hicksville Community Service Center, Hicksville Park and Rec, the playground, the Defiance County Fair Building, Youth for Christ here in Hicksville, and then the Veterans Memorial Park. So those are some of the things that we have supported. In celebration this year of our 40th anniversary, we're awarding 40 grants of $1,000 each to eligible nonprofits. So a community member nominates your favorite nonprofit. Eligible applicants need to be a 501c3, church, school, or government agency.
And as of today, we have 56 applications. So we were gonna do 40, and we continue to receive applications. So I'm still collecting them, and our grants committee meets in 2 weeks, and I'm hoping that we can continue to fund those. And our grants committee meets in April and October on a regular basis. We meet twice a year. This year we'll probably have a third meeting in June just to address any other 40th anniversary grants that we have. Ways that you can give and support the Hicksville Community Fund, obviously cash, appreciated stocks, investments, mutual funds. We also have the opportunity for legacy giving, where we're named in your will, IRA or estate plan, beneficiary of a life insurance, IRA, retirement plan. We actually do have 28 members. Those are folks who have named us in their will, IRA, or estate plan, and we keep track of that. So we do have quite a few people who have done that. And if you choose to do that, you can name the Defiance Area Foundation, and then you can designate the Hicksville Community Fund. And we do have several folks who have done that here in Hicksville, who have named the fund as their beneficiary, as opposed to supporting just one project in Hicksville. They said, we know the Hicksville Community Fund will support everything, so that's why we want to do that. And last year was our largest legacy gift ever of $1.2 million. So we've had a $400,000 gift, a $500,000 gift, but last year was $1.2 million. So that's what took us over the $10 million in assets. Other options: transfer of private foundation, charitable trust options, or real estate and personal property. So a variety of ways to give in addition to just cash donations. So we have a variety of funds under our umbrella, and I put on the table in the center, it was called Foundation Facts on one side, and then on the opposite side of that flyer, can I borrow that, Courtney? It looks like this, Foundation Facts. And on the opposite side of that is a listing of all of the funds that are under our umbrella. So we not only just have the Hicksville Fund, we have a variety of other funds. And of the 10 million in assets, 40% of those assets are unrestricted. So when you see grant pictures in the paper where our community fund funded this project or another project, that's from the unrestricted pool, which is what our grants committee reviews and recommends. And then the restricted funds represent the other 60% of our assets, and those are in field of interest funds, organizational endowment funds, donor advised funds, and scholarship funds. So those are directly impact a specific organization, like the YMCA or Sarah's House, and actually have a few examples here on this slide. Sherwood Community Fund, we have Defiance City School Foundation, Fairview Schools Fund, Ayersville Education Foundation, a fund for the Deer Unit and the Man Unit, and a family in Hicksville actually created those two funds under our umbrella. The 4-H Community Fund that supports 4-H alumni and endowment funds. The Clothes for Kids Fund is a fund that is used to support all of the county schools, and the guidance counselor recommends children that are in need, and then that program is done every fall. So there's a fund that's used for that as well. So we have a variety of funds under our umbrella, not just the community fund. And an individual can establish a fund, a organization can establish a fund, a private community foundation or a private foundation can be transferred into our community foundation, and then the board would oversee the investments and the financial handling of the funds. And that's why some folks do it. Like, why would you want to, if you have an existing fund or an existing private foundation, why would you transfer it to us? And we take care of all the checks coming in, we can write the grants going out. In the donor advised funds we have donors who give us a list at the end of the year of 12 gifts that they want us to make, and then we write all those grant checks for them and communicate with their favorite nonprofit organizations. So we do the financial oversight, the check writing, all of the tax letters, and so we can facilitate that for them. And through the Defiance Area Foundation, sometimes folks ask us, why would you, my mom asked me this question, why would you want to endow a fund? Why would you not like spend the whole thing if somebody made a donation? And so really our philosophy is the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. So long term, we want to create endowed funds so over the years we can continue to support projects and programs and leave a legacy for future generations. And we have a Women's Giving Circle Fund under our umbrella where we have about, Amy, I think we have 70,000 in that, 60 to 70,000. And in that fund, 300 women pay to be a member. They pay $1 a day, $365 a year. 75% of that money is spent in the community, and 25% of that is retained in an endowment fund, so interest on the endowment fund is spent. So the beauty of endowed funds is the principal remains intact, and typically 4% of that is spent annually in the community. That's not always the case though. Documents allow for distribution of principal, so some of our funds distribute principal in addition to income, but a typical endowed fund or field of interest fund would pay out the interest on the fund, and the principal would stay in the fund and continue to grow. So there's a variety of ways those agreements can be designed to meet individual needs. Jim and Amy, Jim Renzi and Amy Galbraith are both on our board. So have I missed anything that either of you want to share?
I would just like to add that just be aware there is money there for Hicksville. So when you're involved with organizations, keep that in mind because like Chris said, there is quite a bit there to be given out. So
we typically give out. So if we said across the board 4% is spent, so 4% of 10 million is $400,000. So I shared that 571 was given away last year. We do have some funds where we spend principal. We also have what we call a pass-through gift. The Moose Lodge is an example of that. They make gifts to us, but we make all their charitable donations. So a lot of their money is in and out. They may give us $10,000 in 1 month, and then we may pay out 8,000 of that 10. So they have a principal buildup in their fund, but the money comes in and goes out quite a bit. So, but typically at 4%, we'd give away $350,000 to $400,000 annually. So that's important to keep in mind. Maybe only 150 to 200 of that is unrestricted, and the remaining funds are restricted and designated to a particular project or organization, but we still have a significant amount to give away annually. So when you have projects, be sure to reach out to us, and if there's something that we can help with, we can guide you as to what we fund and what we don't fund and who qualifies. But in addition to the 501c3, we can fund schools, government agencies, religious organizations. So there are a lot of organizations that may qualify but still not be a registered 501c3 with the IRS. Amy, you have anything you want to add?
Covered it.
So, any questions? Anything I've talked about or haven't talked about? Well, we appreciate your support over the years, and thank you for all you do for the community and for supporting the Defiance Area Foundation and the Hicksville Community Fund. And if I can help in any way, please reach out to me. Thank you.